All right, what's going on? Welcome to Insight with Irv. I have a heartfelt message today. Right, it's always interesting starting off the podcast like that, but I really want to speak this. I really want to speak this one from my mind because it's one that I saw in the DMs of this young guy. He was asking me, "How do you know what business to go after, and how do you know if it's actually going to work?" So I want to speak from that angle that your business is your first business, at least, or first attempt at entrepreneurship is most likely going to fail. I think I can assure that with the 95% accuracy rate. Now, if that is disheartening to you, I do have some good news. And the good news to that is the lessons and the skills and the grit that you're going to pick up along the way is going to make up for the quote unquote business that you have in mind. The reason for that is I think that a lot of people want to sidestep the progress and the work that needs to be done simply because we just look at social media as, man, this person has it figured out. This person makes 100 grand just upon waking up. This person has all of these followers. Everyone loves everything that they create. What's going on with me? And what we're not seeing behind the scenes is either A, how big their team is to keep that engine going, B, the freaking price that they had to pay to actually get there. And I think that it's a little egotistical of us, and I include myself in there, to think that we're going to get something right on the first shot. Like really think to yourself for a second. If you were thrown right now, assuming that you're not a figure skater, and you were thrown out to figure skate, and you saw these moves that you saw on TV to go out there, hey, try that 360, hey, try that 720, hold one leg behind your ear while you're spinning, and then land it without stumbling. Go do that right now. You would automatically think, dude, I've never done this in my life. Or, no, heck no, I'm about to get injured, or my leg doesn't bend that way, whatever it is. And it's the same thing in business where I hear some of these, especially more so the younger entrepreneurs, is they'll say, my first year, I want to make $1 million. And I appreciate I appreciate the hunger behind it, but it's also a little bit of they're naive of what it actually takes to get to that place. But what's happening is they haven't been punched in the mouth just yet. And one of the best ways to learn how to fight is to get into some combat, right? Like you can't, especially if you guys watch combat sports, these guys go through grueling training camps. They have to defend takedowns. They have to defend a submission. They have to defend a left uppercut. They have to defend a leg kick. I'm into MMA. And so they understand, okay, if the opponent that I'm going against is going to do this, I have to be prepared for all facets of war and all facets of battle. And it's the same thing here. For you to think that out the gate, you're just going to make $1 million, I think that is a far-fetched goal that can actually hurt you, because if and when it doesn't happen, you're going to think that something's wrong with you. Something isn't wrong with you. You just haven't been through the process long enough to pick up the skill sets, to equip yourself with the proper tools or resources needed to get to that next level. And so I usually see that again in my DMs, and that's usually where my mind goes of, man, you just haven't been through enough, or you just haven't given yourself enough time, or you're working in such short time constraints of, I want to be there in the next 90 days, or I want to be the best in the next 90 days. And you don't even know what real work looks like just yet. You haven't even began to work. You haven't even began to suffer for a good cause just yet. And so I think that rather than falling in love with the prize, rather falling in love with the reward, I think that falling in love with the work that you do day in, day out is going to serve you far better, especially in the long run, on when you start questioning, is this even worth it? Like, is that prize or that goal that I have, is it even worth it? And I can tell you from experience, the things that have kept me in line and check of working on things longer has been, it's work that I find meaningful, and it's work that I enjoy putting out. It's work that I know is going to make a difference. If you don't have that in what you're doing, then obviously the moment that something arises, you're going to feel like this isn't worth it. You're going to collapse under pressure, and you're going to quit, and you're going to give up. So rather than coming from the scope of, hey, this business is going to work, think of it from the other side of, if it doesn't work, I know that the work that I'm doing is working on me, even if I don't realize it. And when you give yourself that freedom to learn, that freedom to experiment, that freedom to grow, you're going to enjoy the process far more than getting to the end goal. I can tell you right now, there's some goals that I've scratched off my list this year. And I got there. It was cool, right? I can't tell you that it wasn't exciting. It was cool. But you know what's interesting? It's when I think about what it actually took to get there, I get more of, I would say, like a buzz, if that's even a saying, or almost like a high, right? If I had to put into layman terms of, yeah, but what I did to actually get here is more exciting than what I actually got from it. And so if you're talking to someone who is telling you about how fast their car is, everyone just sees the end results. But talk to a car guy. Car people are really interesting. I'm not a car person, but whenever I would talk to my buddy who's into cars, I would always say, man, how did you get your car that fast? And the face would just light up. So it going 500 miles an hour was like, that just is, right? It's just a byproduct. And I'm giving you an exaggerated number just to drive a point home. No, it's 500, but let me tell you everything that I had to put into this, and just started going down the list. Oh, this took me about 5 hours to do. I had to get this part flown in from Japan, and I had to connect it with this, and I wasn't even sure if it was going to fit, and telling me about all the things that he had to do to get what he had. And the entire time that he was talking to me, he wasn't talking to me about what he had. He was talking to me about what he did. And that to me is how you should view entrepreneurship and how you should view the business realm. So if you found value in this content, then you know the drill. If this is your first time here, I'm going to ask you for it because I don't do any type of selling on here. We don't have any type of sponsorships. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and leave us a 5-star review. Let us know how the podcast has been speaking to you and maybe some content that you would like to see more of. Drop it down in the comments. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're listening on Spotify or on Apple, just leave us a review. That would mean the absolute world to us because we know that we're making a difference and this is actually reaching a larger audience that should be hearing this message as well. But other than that, again, I appreciate each and every single one of you that has been rocking with me in all of these episodes. And in this one, until next time, everyone, I will see you on the next one.